Apple Notes used to be the app that everyone ignored. It was slow, plain, and missing half of the features that we actually needed. But in 2025, that's a completely different story. I've been using it daily, and to be honest, I think that at this point in time, it can even overtake your favorite note-taking app. If you're new to my channel, my name is Luis, and I test, review, and talk about all kinds of tech. And today, we're taking a look at if Apple Notes is good enough in 2025. Apple Notes started so many years ago as a simple, basic jot down app that wasn't meant to do anything more than that. Now, at that time when the Notes app was launched, the internet as a whole was entirely different, and we didn't rely so much on note-taking apps and software like we do today. And Apple has obviously noticed this year over year as they continue to improve the Notes app and make it today be one of the better native and free apps that are out in the entire market. And now in 2025, we actually have a model that can compete with a lot of the note-taking apps. Since its release so many years ago, they've added folders, they've added smart tags, they've added search improvements, and one of the biggest things, in my opinion, cross-device syncing and eligibility. And keep in mind, those are only a few of the features we've actually gotten. Nowadays, Apple Notes is as big a heavy hitter in the note-taking department than things like Notion or Obsidian. And to be honest, as a simple note-taking app native to your phone, it's the best that's out there. I've personally tried Notion so many times and on different occasions, but I always see myself coming back to the Notes app. And weirdly enough, this ends up happening because of the first reason that the Notes app was actually created, for simple jot down notes. Now, don't get me wrong, this obviously isn't going to be the case for everybody. I know there's a lot of people out there that much prefer to have a more powerful note taker instead of something a lot more simpler. But whether the Notes app can handle those tasks and things in your day-to-day life, yes, it absolutely can. If we compare it with its competitors, so companies like Evernote, Obsidian, or Notion, which I think would be the biggest one, we can see that where Apple Notes actually shines is in the simplicity department and in the paid premium features. So it's really obvious to say that you don't need to pay for Apple Notes like you do for other apps. And having the peace of mind of knowing that all of your files and notes are always going to be stored in the cloud is a lot more calming than thinking that you're going to have to pay eventually for your note-taking service. I remember a few years back, I used to use Evernote for school, and now it's a paid premium subscription, and one that I don't think I have to do when I have such a good app already installed on all of my devices. Now, don't get me wrong, the question here really isn't whether Apple Notes is better than Notion or vice versa, because they're really good at two different things: simplicity versus power. We can all agree that Notion as an application is a lot more powerful than Apple Notes and just has a lot more features and things you might need on a day-to-day basis. The question here is whether the Notes app is good enough in 2025. And think about whether its key trait, which is its simplicity, is more than good enough to overcome other things like power in other apps like Notion. I believe that if you're a person that needs databases, you need heavy customization, and you need control of a lot of different things than just simple note-taking, then obviously an app like Apple Notes isn't going to be one for you. But I think if you're a standalone person like myself who just likes to take notes and keep things simple and organized, there's no app out there that's better than Apple Notes. If you have it on your iPad and you do have an Apple Pencil, you are able to use the handwritten features as well and have all of your typed and handwritten documents in one place. And that's a feature that Apple makes really easy to integrate into every single one of your devices. So as my final verdict, is Apple Notes good enough in 2025? Honestly, I think it is. Even if you want to have heavy collaborations with a lot of people, really long documents, or storing different things like files, pictures, or handwritten documents, I really think that Apple Notes this year is more than good enough to do all of those needs. Now, you'll know for yourself whether this app is for you or whether you prefer to go for something like Notion or Obsidian or even Evernote. But at least in my opinion and from my testing, I concluded that it could be better in so many ways than your favorite note-taking apps. So after years of being overlooked, I do feel that Apple Notes is finally complete. Still, there's going to be a ton of people that prefer more power out of their note-taking apps. And if you do, that's perfectly fine. There's a ton of apps out there for you. But if you're deep in the Apple ecosystem like I am, this is going to be way more than enough. And you're going to have a lot of fun with how simple and easy to use it is. So let me know what you guys thought of the video, and let me know what you guys think about Apple Notes. Am I completely wrong in my recommendation and what I think, or am I right? Leave it down in the comments down below and I'll answer as soon as I can. If you guys don't follow me over on Instagram, I am going to have the handle on screen right now. So if you guys do want to go ahead and do that, I would greatly appreciate it. I did also just launch channel memberships. So if you guys do want to become exclusive members of the channel and get perks that nobody else is getting, there's going to be a join button next to the subscribe button down below where you can become one. And well, since I guess there's really nothing left to be said, I'll see you guys in the next one.